She's here with us few reasons, and the reason which I know is Dr. Indira Nityanandam. Everybody knows her. We do not need to give her any introduction. Rather, if we in Ahmedabad start giving introduction to Dr. Indira, then it will be like, why are we doing this actually? So, I'll come to the point. Few months ago, I interviewed ma'am for her books, and while I was interviewing her for her books, then I came across this book, and during the conversation itself, ma'am was talking how she feels pained when the translation is not done properly, how she translated and what was she going through while she was doing this. And her one sentence stayed with me. It was like, Shraddha, we all have a responsibility and we all must do that. So you all of us, I see ma'am as a mother figure, teacher figure. If we have teacher figures teaching us right things, life becomes better. Sure. So we have Dr. Indira Nityanandam, because of whom this event, Ma'am P. Sivakami has come here and I am finding you and I'm like, what am I supposed to say? I'm so sorry. So, and a few days ago, ma'am knows that I've started this venture of mine, which we'll discuss later. So, few days ago, ma'am called me and she said that she is coming and I literally want to do something, Shraddha. I knew if ma'am has decided, it is going to take place. You don't have any option, I must say. You don't have any option. Shubha ma'am would agree in 200 times. If she has said, we'll have to make it happen. And the best thing is that ma'am trusts people with so much of, I would say, there is an authority also, there is trust also, there is confidence also. This place where we are sitting today, I have been here, Ishan has been a gracious host, and I told ma'am that this is this place, we can do it here. She said, "Tumne dekha hai na? Fine." We wanted to come here, but she said, "No." So you feel confident when you have elders who just show you guidance. Without much ado, I would now request Dr. Indira Nityanandam to come and address the gathering.
Many of you here, not being from Tamil Nadu and probably not into that field, might not know a name T.M. Krishna. He's actually a singer, he's actually a Brahmin, but that doesn't matter. But he once made a statement, if you say caste does not matter, you have to be upper caste. I'm repeating, not matter, you have to be upper caste. That pierced me to the deepest parts of my heart, the core of my being. How unaware are we about the true situation in our country? I think that's what brought me towards Dalit literature. I'm talking only about Dalit literature at the moment, and I think Dalit literature is more a true image of the life of Dalits than an upper caste book by an upper caste writer. Let me say that again. Doesn't matter what caste you belong to, but if you are, let's say, a Vanya or a Patel or a Shah or whoever writing a book, I don't think you make such a true representation of what life is within that community as a Dalit writer does. Is it because their experiences are deeper? Is it because their experiences are so different from the experiences of many others? I'm not sure. But as a teacher of language and literature, I certainly know that if I were to apply my rules of poetics, what is good literature, what is good poetry, then I would say Dalit literature is a failure. I would say that. That is because I want to, apply rules, apply laws which were made for somebody else. You know, it's like saying my parents think I'm very fair, right? But if I'm sitting next to even a Punjabi or a Kashmiri, I'm black. So it's also relative. So I think literature is also like that. And then I got interested in Dalit literature. I'm really talking about, it's not about me, but I'm talking about why we need to have such small, closed, groups of people who can sit and look at Dalit literature, understand what Dalit literature is, and why it is important to spread the message of Dalit literature. Hopefully, not maybe during my lifetime, but sometime in the future, we are going to be able to see a casteless society. Having said that, I also want to say it seems as if we are going in the opposite direction, because the kind of atrocities that are being perpetrated day in and day out, the concept of exclusion, etc., etc. And then I said, all Indians, most educated Indians, know more than one language. And what Shraddha just mentioned, the literature of one part of our country to other parts of the country. All of us can talk about Tolstoy and Dostoevsky and whoever, Molière and blah blah, Goethe. We talk about all of them. And we've read all their works. Why have we read their works? Because their works are available in English. So I think all of us need to do that. And that's what set me on the process of literature. We have Madam Chivkami today. We're going to be talking to her. We're going to be interacting with her. We're going to understand what life is, what her literature is, how she writes, what she views, etc. But before that, I thought it was my duty, because as most of you know, my mother tongue is Tamil, but I live in Gujarat and I'm comfortable with half a dozen Indian languages. So I thought this is what I should do. And that is why I'm trying to bring Tamil literature. Particularly now, it's going to be purely Dalit literature to the Gujarati audience. Maybe I'm not a great scholar in Gujarati, but I think my feelings, my ability to bring the themes across into another language, I think is what makes me good enough to do this, to get involved in this process. Somebody just said, what? A Dalit Sahitya Academy? And I'm very happy that we have one very important representative of the Dalit Sahitya Academy here, Mr. Waghela, who is a retired IS officer. Later in the evening, we will ask him to tell us, please, something about what. Of course, Savalat Nathi, Bolmuch Pai, right? So we will ask him to talk to us about what the Sahitya Academy, the Dalit Sahitya Academy is doing. And I'm talking about Dalit Sahitya Academy because this is one academy, Sahitya Academy in our country, which is functioning without a single pie from the government, any government, state government, central government, nothing. So when we publish a book there, we, that is the writer, the translator, the Sahitya Academy, together, right? And we don't have any great sponsors in that sense, but we manage to, because we think this literature has to get across. I'm forgetting that actually our guest has not yet come here, so may I request Shraddha to invite
and the guest.
So this is better, and this is Gujarati.
I know. Yes, thank you very much.
Ma'am, please. I would also request Dr. Indira Nityanandam to felicitate Mr. P.D. Waghela sir. હવે ના નહીં કહેવાય, આવું પડે. Because I wanted man to say it, because as we say, I mean, I don't know whether it fits it or not. Can we shift all here? All a little closer? Today morning, when I was getting ready, I shared it with ma'am. When I was getting ready for my school, I saw a news and I was aghast. I shared with ma'am that Dalit child has been tortured by the teachers of the school, and they have put the scorpion in the pant of an 8-year-old child. Now this is what people go through. This is what people go through. And I was addressing this in my classroom today morning, and I said to all my children, all my students, you don't have to feel pain and say, oh, I'm so sorry. You have to stop the people. And you have the authority if you are not from that particular caste. It's more responsibility to stop, because then it will make actually the effect. Otherwise, it's farce. Otherwise, it's just jab and we can only talk. And when we see Ma'am Shivagami, she has worked a lot. Indira Ma'am has gone through all her work, and she has always been praising about Shivagami Ma'am's work. And Indira Ma'am herself is very, very sensitive towards this topic. Every time when we discuss something like that. So today, I would first request Indira Ma'am to begin this conversation with Ma'am, and then probably I will come in between.
We'll do that. I think we'll put the mic. We'll put the mic aside. Yeah, we'll put the mic aside.
Ma'am, do you need mic or not?
Can we put the mic aside? I'm asking you.
I didn't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's great. Then great. Yes, ma'am.
At one stage, Shivagami, the G that we say, right? Hindi mein G bolte hain. So in Tamil, we say avargal. You add avargal, it does what G does. In Telugu, it's garu. That's something which Ben, bhai in Gujarat, for example. So avargal. But ma'am, I will take your permission not to use the avargal every time I mention your name, and just say Shivagami, so that will make it. And that might immediately bring to mind a question in many of you. Why is it that sometimes I'm saying Shivagami and sometimes I'm saying Shivagami? Because in the Tamil language, right, we've got ka, we don't have ga. So which means we will say Kankai, and you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking of Ganga. Right? So when I say Kankai, right, because we don't have ga. But with the Sanskritization of the Tamil language over the last 500 years, we have. Okay, so in one interview, Shivagami ma'am said, I don't want the adjective Dalit to be added. And in fact, she said that yesterday also, but I heard it in an earlier. Why do you call me a Dalit writer? Madhu Menon, do we call him a Menon writer? Do we?
No.
Right? We don't. So why should you call me a Dalit writer? Read my works. Right? I'm a writer. I'm a human being. The other term which we generally, a Dalit feminist writer, I think that's how she is addressed, right? Her books are not just about feminism or feminism. Her books are about the condition of a particular section of society in our country. And if you are not from that section of society, you probably don't even realize. She's lucky in the sense that she was born into an educated family. Her father was already an MLA. Her father was already an MLA, right, by the time she appeared. But that does not mean she did not have the problems. She writes in one of her books, and I get tears in my eyes when I read this. He goes to meet somebody, okay, the municipal Tahsildar, right, goes to meet the Tahsildar. The Tahsildar has ensured that there is no chair in the room. And he's an MLA, mind you. He's not somebody who's a beggar who's gone begging for something. He's an MLA. He goes to the Tahsildar's office. And all of us who know the hierarchy in India, you know where the MLA stands in relation to the Tahsildar. And the Tahsildar ensures that there's no chair in the room. Right? Now that is the kind, if educated people, and to take her life further, she joined the IAS. She worked in the IAS, she was part of the IAS, Indian Administrative Service, for 28 years, and then decided to quit. For various reasons, maybe ma'am will talk about it later, but she decided to quit. And then she thought maybe she was influenced by Kashiram, and she thought there is nothing like that in South India, in Tamil Nadu. So she did form a party of her own and tried for some time. Gave it up. Moved into a kind of social service. Ma'am will tell us also about the journal that she runs, Pudiya Kodangi. She will talk about that. Very recently, she was awarded the Virchol Award, very recently. So I'd ask ma'am to talk about that also. But ma'am, can we begin with what was the greatest influence
as a child in your life? Can we begin with that? I would like to thank Mr. Vakela and Indra. No, it's okay. Because without them, I wouldn't be here. And also, I used to meet Harish Mangalam, the writer, in Sahitya Academy many times. And then they wanted to also invite me sometime. But my work wasn't translated into Gujarati, so I was just a writer, so they did. But whoever I meet in Sahitya Academy, because Sahitya Academy regularly calls me, now Unmesh has been celebrated almost every year. 1,300 writers are invited by Sahitya Academy. So I was one of them. So whoever I meet, they say, so you must come to our stage sometime. So, and then she contacted me that she wanted to translate this work, and I was too happy. Not my work. My work has not been translated to Hindi first of all. So then she said Gujarati. Wow, it's so. Yeah, I was so happy. And she said Dalit Sahitya Academy is going to publish, and I was doubly happy because I feel that it should reach them as well, because the readership. I don't say targeted audience. Everybody should read, but more so if they read, they would appreciate it more. So I thank both of them, and I also thank Shraddha for the introduction and organizing this meet today. I'm grateful. Now, during the introduction, you mentioned about Krishna. So, yeah, I use the mic, okay. So during her introduction, she mentioned about the G.R. Krishna. I very much, support, because I realize that who says caste doesn't matter. Normally it comes from them. And also they ask, where is caste now? So they ask the additional question. And these days things have improved, they say. So it's so relevant for us to write more and more. And during discussions, they ask how long you will be writing about caste. They will say they'll ask that question. So all your novels, some part or other, it talks about caste system in India. So when will you stop writing about it? I said when the issue stops, then I have I have nothing to write. But I'm also writing something else also. So with this, I think she asked to say about my childhood. I was fifth child for my mother and sixth for my father. So my father married twice. So we are 13 children in the house. So I was very good in, I think by nature, I don't know what, I was always good in school. And I was the topper of my school. I studied in St. Dominic's Girls High School, and also I was good in sports. So my headmistress always would say, so never get down from the stage, you are going to get all the prizes, stay here. And also she will say it in a very derogatory manner. You know what?
Slang, yeah.
Slang. Yeah, she will use the slang. So I was good. So once R.S. Malayappan, he was a district collector of composite district, Trichy and Tanjavur together was a district then. Then my father was MLA, so he used to meet R.S. Malayappan quite often for people's needs. So therefore, when he came to my house once, so I was playing, the topless with a gown, So my father showed, she's the one, she studies well. So R.S. Malayappan suggested that, then you make her IAS. So it stuck to my father's mind that I would become someone. But I didn't know anything about it. All that I knew was that I was good at studies. I always, the first rank holder in my class. And then when I was in 10th standard, my Tamil teacher, we used to write handwriting book, one paragraph. Every day we must write. So everybody will write what is, it's just a handwriting, right? Okay, so they will copy from the book and submit. So I'll be one, I thought about every time I wanted to write something new, what I think and all that. So my teacher, what she will do, she didn't want me to know that she was interested in taking my notebook. So I'll just go and submit because everyone, as soon as the class begins, everyone will go and put our notebook there. So she knows that where my notebook is. She will pull it out and then she will read and laugh. I knew she was reading my notebook. So one day because I was busy, I couldn't write. So she said, where is your notebook? Get out of the class, she said. So I was standing outside the class for an hour also because 1 hour a class. Then when she left the room, she said, come to the teacher's room, she said. So when I went to the staff room, she said, see, I am able to correct all the notebooks and see only because of your writing. So I'm so impressed, she said. So I was very moved. And then she said, why don't you write a short story? So I wrote a short story because I used to read whatever I could get hold of. Because I will go and beg for books, in the neighborhood. There are some men who used to read. So I'll just go and borrow a book. You won't believe that when I was in 7th standard, I read this in Tamil translation, Farewell to Arms by So this is a fat book. I didn't understand so well, but even then I just like a machine, I used to read. And then we'll go to the shop and then they will fold the things in the newspaper or a magazine paper. So after coming home, then I will read that because I was just hungry to read books. So my father used to subscribe to magazines.
And I was Secretary in Government India also, and I was Chairman TRI also. So that is my small introduction. Yeah, you see, I am not a writer, and I am not a Dalit writer, and I am not also a poet. But of course, I am connected with Gujarat Dalit Sahitya Academy since last 30 years. I am a patron and advisor of this institute. From my childhood, I had a certain ideology, and that ideology believes in a casteless society and gender equality. This is what my father and my mother has taught me, and not me only, all my 5 brothers. We think like this. So, Gujarat Dalit Sahitya Academy, see, let us like it or not, and if anybody says it is not a separate kind of a literature, it is a separate kind of literature. Its genre is completely different. Its ideology is completely different. It actually questions the mainstream literature, mainstream writing, mainstream poetry. In what way it is a different thing? See, all Dalit literature, it is written from the experiences which the writers and poets have. They have suffered the suffering, they have suffered the discrimination, they have seen the discrimination in the villages, they have seen the, especially I will talk about the, gender discrimination and what is the problem with feminism in India. But anyway, so they have seen that, they have experienced themselves, their own father, their mother, their sister, themselves. And that is what they planned down. So Dalit literature, all over the country, I don't know. How many of you have read the Annihilation of Caste by Dr. Ambedkar? I think everyone should read. If you want to understand that caste as an occupation is perfect, where anybody can enter and get out, as per his volition. But caste as a fixed compartment, based on birth. Once you are born there, you cannot get out, and nobody else can enter. And also that the graded hierarchy. Graded hierarchy. Someone is the top on the hierarchy, and someone is the bottom. The top is God on the earth, and the bottom person is a subhuman, a person who is a beast. This is what Sudras have been described. And I can see, I have done so much research on the subject. that I can talk hours together. But see what Shudra and Sat. See, you will be surprised to know that they are not part of the Varna system. It is not a caste. Because Dalits are outcast. If you remember, they are outcast. They are not part of the system. They are not part of the Varnashram Dharma. They are also not mentioned by Manu in the Manu Smriti. So all the rules of Sudras have been imposed on Dalits, which according to my research and according to Dr. Ambedkar and many others, that most of Dalits of India were Buddhist. And anyone who does not believe in Veda and the scriptures were declared as Mlech. Mlech means Chanda. Muslims are Mlech as per our scriptures. Christians are Mlech as per our scriptures. Sikhs are blessed as per our scripture, whether we like it or not. So this is the idea. So but however, these rules have been imposed and in a very rigorous manner. Sudras, there are two kinds of Sudra. Saka Sudra. I don't want to harm anyone, but many those people who are at the those community which have come up politically, economically, socially, they are Sat Sudras. Many of them. I don't want to name them. And then Asata Sudra. Those who does not have right to rituals are Asata Sudra. Asata Sudra and Asata Sudra both are not affected by untouchability. But Mlech, Chanda, and they are affected by untouchability. This is the story. So naturally, Dalit literature cannot have any kind of sympathy, empathy, or liking for any kind of the kind of religion which is being advocated. They don't have anything against Hinduism. They have the problem with imposition of the scripture which degrades people, which dehumanizes people. So what is the mention about Sudra? Sudras have been mentioned as impure beast, Janwar, impure beast, right? Walking cremation ground, haltu chaltu smashan, right? Yes, haltu chal and half dead murda. These are the things, and they are dim-witted. This is mentioned. If you see the history, the whole Indus civilization has been created by Dravidians. And I am also, I have seen I am also from South India. We are Chalukyas, we came here, that is a different thing, but anyway. So who has created the Indus civilization? It has been created by these people. These are the people who have created this civilization. But anyway, so Dalit literature believes that India is a beautiful country. India has a great civilization. There are aberrations, and this aberration is caste. Caste, which is described by the scriptures. Let us be very clear. As an occupation, there will be dwellers, there will be farmers, right? And there will be manufacturers, producers, there will be dairymen. That is perfectly all right. You cannot have a class of professions. Chartered accountant, medical, these doctors. So this is perfectly okay. But when you give divinity and then greater hierarchy, which starting from the god on the top and then the beast at the bottom, subhuman, who doesn't have the right to have a good name, doesn't have right to have a possession of property, does not have right to education, does not have right to ritual, that is the problem.
Thank you, very thoughtful, and I'm so glad.
Actually, madam को feminism पे ही बोलना चाहिए था. She has done a lot of work.